Hey guys, Rob Shoecraft here with part three. Oh, Three Storm Fitness, that's the channel. Here with part three of my comprehensive guide to ending elbow pain, basically my story. Part one, I introduced what I was talking about. Part two, we talked about diet, nutrition, supplements, and that was, again, for me, what I found to be the most important. All this is important, but for me, that was most important. Second biggest impact, and again, for you, it could be different. I recommend all these things. Part three, that's us. Part three, we're really talking about technique and equipment. So I'm going to talk about specific exercises you could do in the latter parts. But what this is really in terms of ways to kind of tweak what you're already doing. And this is probably the next most beneficial thing. I'm just going to start with the biggest thing other than diet. What I think, so if you do pull-ups, or if you do rows, any sort of even horizontal rows, or at an angle or whatever, obviously they're very, very grip intensive. And I made one of the reasons I'm making this series is because I made this video on pull-up form for elbow pain. And a lot of people ask for other ways you could end elbow pain. But in that video, and I'm not going to recreate it too much, but in that video, and I'll link to it, I talk about ways to properly engage your upper back and the path to what you need to travel when you do a pull-up, so to minimize elbow pain. Again, medial elbow pain, golfer's elbow, or pull-upper's elbow. So when you're doing a pull-up, you're locked in two different places. You're locked in the bar. You're locked in at your shoulder. Now, first of all, if your form sucks, it doesn't matter about this other stuff. You got to fix your form. So watch that video, and hopefully that helps. But nevertheless, even if your form is crystal clear, if you have mobility problems in your shoulder or your wrist, that tension has to go somewhere. And sometimes it'll be in your shoulder or your wrist, but a lot of times for me, is right here. So, and I might do a poor job explaining this, but you don't really have to know. Just take my word for it and try it. Your shoulder's fixed, your wrist is fixed. I've broken my wrist a couple times. I used to do kickboxing in college, and I broke my wrist. I also fell down a set of stairs when I had too much to drink one night, and I broke my wrist that way. So. And I fell off a swing set. Yeah, I've broken my wrist 3 times, I think, between the two of them. And so they've always been screwed up. So I have issues with mobility in them. I can't do certain things very easily. So when you're locked into this position, that bar's not going to go anywhere. A straight bar, which is what most people do pull-ups on. And by the way, I'm not knocking that. I've done thousands of them, which is, of course, why I have this problem. A lot of people don't. This is unique to you. I'm not saying straight bars are bad. I still do some straight bar stuff. But what I have done, and this has helped tremendously, is ring pull-ups. So the beautiful thing about ring pull-ups, and by the way, this is a plastic ring. Nothing necessarily wrong with it. I do recommend wooden rings if you're going to go out and buy them. That's another video. But whatever kind of ring you're using, the nice thing about rings is they move with you to the path of least resistance. So even if you have shoulder problems, not necessarily shoulder problems, just lack of range of motion or lack of wrist range of motion, it doesn't matter so much because it's going to move with you. It's going to, again, find the path of least resistance. Now, for your purists out there who are trying to isolate a very specific part of your lat or something, yeah, you could still kind of do it. You could still hit certain parts, depending on the grip you want to go. But you kind of, at some point, you sort of need to decide, do I want to be able to keep training without this debilitating injury and maybe not have the most perfect focused exercise possible for my teres minor or whatever? if that's your case, if you're just super focused on that, I don't know, maybe find another video. Or keep watching this one and maybe one of the things I say will help. But for the most of us, we're just trying to get a good bang for the buck, compound upper body exercise like a pull-up. It's like king of the exercise, or even a good horizontal row. So you get these rings, or for horizontal stuff, TRX, WAS, any of the suspension rigs are fantastic. I'll show you a couple other variations of stuff as well for like cable attachments. But these rings, and this is kind of so first of all, the rings by themselves are great, but kind of this little hack I have, I mentioned in the first video, when you do this, your elbows, for me, this is where I feel it the most. Not so much right now because it's under control, but this ring finger. So what I do is try to minimize the impact of the ring finger. So I take, rather than centering my hand on the center of the ring, I take these two fingers and I center those on the center of the ring, and then I kind of have it out here. Now, I've never run this by a gymnast or a physical therapist or anybody who might have an opinion on that grip. Again, this is about me. This is Rob time. This is what's worked for me. So yes, I'm still using these two fingers, the biggest suspects of the biggest offenders of the elbow pain. I'm still using those, but I'm relying on these two fingers more. And those don't have quite the same connection to that elbow pain for me. They probably won't for you either. So hopefully that makes sense. Another couple things. If you love doing curls, let's just get real simple. Dumbbells. Dumbbells are great too. If you're doing rows, horizontal rows, whatever. Bicep curls even. Again, anything that's going to allow you to, okay, I'm doing it, let's say we're doing a curl. Just good old prison curl. Smoking a cigarette. Talking about stabbing somebody. And doing my prison curls. And come up, and oh, I feel it right there. Feel it right there. Ooh, so let's just shift here a little bit and see what happens. Again, for you bicep building purists, that might not be the answer for you, because
if I shift my wrist fully this way, then I get the biggest bicep belly engagement, and if I do it this way, it's more of the brachialis, and I can't have that because that's on my brachialis day, and whatever. Again, it might not be for you, but for me, I'm cool. I mean, I know I'm still going to get a decent bit of tension in this general area that I'm trying to work. I'm cool with shifting it just a little bit. That's fine if it takes the load off. You could do that with the dumbbell. You could do that with little attachments like this. If you have resistance bands, or if you have a cable attachment, you can throw this on there. Again, it's the same kind of thing. If it allows you a little bit of flexibility to navigate away from the pain, use it. One of the great things, I don't have one, but I've used them and I love them, so this is like an easy curl bar variation. You could do like hammer grip stuff on it, but you could do it out here as well, rather than a straight bar. Again, where your wrists are completely locked in. This is a little easier on you. Easy curl. But I don't have one, but the Supra bar, I believe it's called, S-U-P-R-A, where it has kind of those floating rings in the middle. That's what I'm talking about right there. If you haven't seen them, I'll try to link to one. If you haven't seen them, that's basically they roll with you, just kind of the same sort of concept as using rings. Let's see, what I have anything else on the list? Oh yes. So pressing. Hang on, just a sec. Sit tight. One thing I found that when my golfer's elbow was bad, even doing like pressing mode, heavy pressing, like the bench press, because again, you get that death grip on the bar, which is good. Even that was acting up. I could bring it down and I just feel it, just totally jacked up through here. So even pressing was getting affected. So if you're kind of in the midst of a nasty battle with golfer's elbow, get yourself like a Swiss bar. This is an angled Swiss bar, football bar. This is a Black Widow bar. Black Widow makes it. But there's all sorts of different variations. And that's going to help a lot. First of all, it's going to ease up, to tend to be a little nicer on your shoulders, which if you're having if shoulder problems are part of the issue, then that's going to help. Yeah, this is very nice. Good pressing variation. Again,
You know, maybe you're not hitting the exact same spot you want to hit, but you can do all that fun stuff once you take care of your elbow pain and get back to it. Life goes on, all right? So you're gonna be okay. Hopefully those exercises help. Again, the key thing for me is if you're doing straight bar pull-ups, I highly recommend switching to ring pull-ups. At the very least, switch to like a more neutral grip. That tends to be a little easier on the elbows. And make sure your form's good. Sometimes I'll throw this over the top of my rack and I'll just do pull-ups that way. It's kind of a nice little variation. So rows, anything, do something that's gonna have a floating path for you so you can navigate around the pain. Key stuff here. Okay, again, Rob Shoecraft, 3 Storm Fitness. Please subscribe to my videos. Stay tuned for part 4, I think we're on, of this elbow pain battle, okay? Hopefully that helps. Leave comments below, let me know what you think.